Hello, everyone, and welcome to MAMIYA, which is a dark mystery visual novel type game, and in which apparently someone called Natsume died. And yeah, let's just find out what it's all about, huh? Natsume died. Did someone pass away?
Yes, they're holding a funeral for a boy called Natsume.
Natsume? Well, I think I might have known him.
Oh, really?
Probably, at least I think so.
In that case, why not bring him some flowers?
Huh? Can I?
Of course. I'm certain he would appreciate it.
The era was tiring us to the bone. Solitude that none could relate to was more agonizing than simply trying to live. The emptiness would become hunger, and if the flower you wished for didn't exist anywhere in the world, make it yourself. You had no choice but to make it yourself. If the thing I want doesn't exist, I have no other choice, do I? Man, if only my daily life was more exciting. I'm getting a bit tense. No, it's gonna be okay. I just need to get inside. After muttering that to myself, I nodded and took a step forward. Only to end up bumping into someone. Sorry. Don't worry about it. This was my fault as well. The dark-haired youth made a light bow before running off, almost as if to hide his face. I could tell from the sound of his voice that he'd been crying. I opened the door. A solemn atmosphere hung heavy in the air as I stepped into the church. Natsume. Some wept, others looked ahead in silence. Were they all reminiscing about the time they'd spent with him? I hope they are. This had to be said. Something that was dear to us had been there since the moment we were born. It was devotion that could shine even within the snow, as well as joy that breathed wonder into the naked heart, and we shared it with others. I mean, it's a waste to keep it to myself. If something makes you happy, it only makes sense to want to tell others about it, right? I noticed that the funeral was about to begin and that I was about the only one who was still standing. I looked around for a place to sit. I took a seat on the left. I'll sit next to you if you don't mind. Oh, sure. Feel free to. I kept gazing at the flowers far ahead while waiting for the ceremony to begin. Everyone around me muttered prayers in remembrance of Natsume. A hymn played as the coffin was carried forward. Hearing the priest talk, all I could think about was its contents. Death was now both distant and close. The red-hot flames were approaching us from behind, taking concrete shape. I didn't want the world to end. Because I believe this world will continue. I didn't fear it and was given love in return. It doesn't matter if the future is mired only in deceit. A while later, the service began in earnest, accompanied by organ music. The attendees stood up and brought flowers to the coffin. A student with darker skin approached it next. Doesn't really look like he has darker skin, but okay. I am curious. Finding myself somewhat curious about him, I decided to follow him with my gaze. The dark-skinned student took some of the gathered white flowers and approached the coffin. His amber eyes were directed right at it. I could see the strength of his will reflected in them. His graceful fingers didn't tremble one bit. As he placed his flowers, he slightly parted his lips, almost like he was about to say something. In the end, all he did was furrow his brow and close his eyes, before ultimately returning to his seat. A black-haired student with a mole under his eye walked toward the coffin. I am curious. He slowly approached the coffin with a downcast look. The snow-white flowers he carried seemed a perfect match for his prim and proper aura. As he bent over to place his flowers, his glossy locks swayed forward, hiding his eyes. His youthful looks made him appear almost ethereal and had completely captivated my attention. He then slowly stood up and returned to his seat with his head hanging even lower than before. Ruffling his pinkish hair, a man with an intense look on his face stepped forward. He approached the coffin with a rough, unsteady gait, but the way he took the white flowers was anything but that. His hair covered most of his face, preventing me from discerning his expression. In contrast to his earlier demeanor, there was a certain melancholy in the way he placed down his flowers. I was left in awe by that strange, uncanny imbalance. The coffin was approached by a tall boy in a school uniform. His considerable height would no doubt make him stand out in any crowd. He walked with a straightforward stance, giving me the impression of someone with a noble, righteous soul. Even the white flowers he carried seemed to match him in terms of sheer dignity and grace. His large eyes gleamed with genuine grief. Natsume. He uttered the name in a voice so low you would have to strain your ears to hear him. Once all the attendees had set their flowers, the funeral came to a close with a few words addressed to the bereaved family. Surrounded by people leaving the hall, This was the soul atonement. It was time for the old world to end, just as prophesized. MAMIYA would gladly embrace all of your desires and pains. Alright, I get it. The MAMIYA you chose is... I chose to sit in the seat before me. It was where you could find many of Natsume's classmates. Most of them had already left, save for a few stragglers. I heard sobbing coming from my side. As I looked toward its source, my gaze met that of a student. I'm sorry, don't mind me. Care to use this handkerchief? Your eyes will get red if you rub them with your hands. Thank you. This yellow handkerchief. What about it? Oh, nothing. How close were you to Natsume? We were just classmates. Though we didn't talk much at school. Maybe he didn't even know I existed. Still, being around Natsume would always make me smile. It drove me to work harder too. You see, I wanted to put a smile on the face of this person who's been cheering me on. Recently, something sad happened and I went to work in low spirits. When I was about to take a break, Natsume, who'd just left, was right in front of my workplace. He was holding a bouquet of large yellow flowers. He was as timid as always, but he did his best to keep it together and say they were for me. There was no way I could have kept such big flowers at home, but all he did was smile. He sure smiled a lot, didn't he? Sorry about that. I'll wash and give the handkerchief back. It's okay, you can have it. Huh? I can't just... You can, it's for crying for Natsume. Natsume. Music continued to flow, like a river never ending, roaring and cascading. Ojo Minato. I hate this river. On my way home from the funeral, I looked down at the river flowing below. It's so unclean and cloudy. I can't see any color in it. And it's loud. It wasn't common for people to see me this annoyed. I let out a sigh and looked at the flowing surface. Even so, I just couldn't stomach it today. Natsume, why? He was such a nice guy. The funeral was over, but I still couldn't believe that he'd died. We'll never meet again, huh? I should have talked to him more. A message? Oh, an invitation to do karaoke on the weekend? Man, we just had a funeral for Natsume and everyone already stopped caring, huh? I didn't know what to say to this. Natsume really didn't seem to mean much to them. Though, I guess it could be a good distraction. After replying that I'd go, I closed my phone. Starting today, I'd laugh again as the center of the class. Never resisting the flow of the water, I let my nerves get eroded. I'd been repeating this for so long, like in a delirium, as if nothing had happened. This was the only way I could keep myself together. It was a strange balance. MAMIYA. Feels like that's like a demon or something, or a spirit. I felt like happiness had slipped through my fingers. Every new breath I drew was shorter than the last. MAMIYA. Tell me, what would you do if the world came to an end tomorrow? It was a silly conversation starter, nothing more than pointless small talk. To me, you appreciate your day just a tiny bit more. After all, no one had seen the world end yet. We'd been repeating this for so long. It was something small and frail that we gave our all to protect. A soul that lost even that would just be left here, unable to go anywhere. Nobody paid any mind to me, and the river continued to flow. Well, I guess that was the intro. I had always loved winter. It was freezing cold and offered little in the way of colors or vegetation, but for some reason it reminded me of a song from that time, and it would always move me. I had a simple breakfast consisting of nothing but plain toast. That sounds boring. The memo hadn't changed for 3 days now. I'm off. I proceeded to lock the door like I always did. When will they come back? I sighed as I looked at my old worn-out key. If only I had someone to have meals with. The descending elevator stopped on the way down. See ya, Haruki. Shut it. Love ya. Me too. What was up with this guy? Why would you French someone while getting on an elevator? I should have mashed the button to close the door. What? I felt like I was being looked at. Hey you. The moment he called out to me, I rushed out through the open door. Okay. That was a weird reaction. Huh. That wasn't a good thing to see first thing in the morning. As the irritation made me walk faster, someone messaged me. Huh? Hayato still hasn't made up with her. Man, he's a handful. Alright, fine. I'll contact Yukari for him. Hey, so I was wondering if something happened. Hayato was looking kinda awkward with you. Wow, really? That sounds bad. How about this then? Gojo! Oh, Hayato, what's up? Did you manage to patch things up with her? Yeah, I did. What did you even do? Some kind of magic? I guess you could say that. This ain't much for Big M. I was always good at seeing the subtleties in others, which made me a good mediator between people when they couldn't properly express themselves. This was a wonderful class where everyone got along. I liked it a lot. Hello, Kikuchi Ryu. Ah, Kikuchi's here for the first lesson. I heard he caused more trouble. Ugh, he glared at me. Hope that doesn't mean I'm his target. You should probably avoid him too, Minato. Well, Imagine that, you starting something with them. You don't even remember their names, do you? I like the music. Here's corn soup. It's cold today, isn't it? I'm impressed you figured out I'd be on the roof. Well, who else would come up here in the middle of winter? I gave my gruff childhood friend a quick glance as I helped myself to another spoonful of soup. He was disinterestedly leaning against the fence, clutching the warm can in his hand. The sharp look in his eyes was enough to put anyone on edge. But when talking to him, anyone would realize that he was just awkward. His name was Kikuchi Ryo, and he was an old close friend of mine. Come on, Ryo. Would it kill you to be a little more social? No thanks. It sounds like too much of a hassle anyway. You know, I'm sometimes envious of how you never feel the need to suck up to anyone. I like that about you. Honestly, I'm terrified to even imagine what it'd be like if someone hated me. It's because you've got lots of friends, unlike me. Huh? Ryo gazed at the sky in silence. You should be proud of that. Thanks. Heaving a quick breath, I stole a glance at Ryo, who apparently didn't seem to mind the cold all that much. Wanna head back in? Sure. Hey Tojo, come here a sec. Huh? Why are you whispering? Shush man, I found a good free site yesterday. Oh, nice thumbnail. Right? It's some of the best FAP material I've ever seen. I, don't really... What? You're gonna tell us you're not interested? Are you sure you're a high schooler? It's not that I don't have these urges, it's just that you're being too open about it. Really? I thought this was pretty normal. Sure. You really ought to rub one out from time to time, but don't let it build up. I'll, do it at home. No need to be shy about it, dude. Huh. I'm just not cut out for this. I bet Ryo wouldn't talk about these kinds of things. I better find him and have him cheer me up. No one's here. Wait, didn't he say that he has his part-time job today? Right. The wind on the roof was strong enough to send a shiver down my spine. Might as well head back. Found you. Huh? Who found me? What? I looked at the source of the voice and saw a strange-looking boy. Huh? Whoa. I've finally found you, Tojo Minato. Me? The boy danced through the air before gracefully landing beside me. I've been wanting to meet you for a long time. Thanks. Where do you live? Are your parents here in the school? I came to see you, Minato. I don't feel like I'm getting through. Actually, how do you even know me? I know you, or I might not. What's that supposed to mean? So talk to me. I want to know more about you. Are you messing around with me? Not at all. I'm quite serious. Alright, what's your name? MAMIYA. I see. I figured it might be. I felt a tinge of nostalgia upon hearing his name. Could it have been a result of the peculiarly enigmatic first impression he'd given me? I'm still a little confused, but... Well, at least he was cute. How can you tell? Got a gas mask on. Nice to meet you, MAMIYA. Wait, huh? He said he wanted to know more about me, but now he's gone? Well, whatever. I'm leaving. The moment I went outside, I realized something was off. A group of girls were whispering among each other.
Hey, don't you think he's kinda handsome? He looks a bit intimidating, but Hey, you think that bike is his? Tojo, do you know him?
Huh? What? Hello? Huh? Our eyes met. Pink hair, earrings, a mod's coat. The man sounded a mocking snort while twirling a cigarette between his fingers. Upon noticing me, the man made a muffled, ridiculing chuckle. Yelp. Hey there, we met in the elevator. I'm really sorry, but I happen to be in a hurry, so... Where's Natsume?
Excuse me?
I waited ages for him, but he was a no-show, so I came to pick him up. Anyway, where is he?
No longer here.
Oh right, I'd forgotten.
It's great that you remembered, but please leave. You're being a bother to...
Then you come with me instead.
Huh? Why me?
Is he someone you know, Toju?
Miss, no, I just... Please tell your friend not to smoke in front of the school.
It's clear I'm not wanted. Let's bounce.
Wait, hey!
That's just rude. The stranger ignored my yell and instead pulled me away from the street.
What was that all about?
The man was so forceful I had no choice but to give in, put on the helmet and get on the bike. I mean, I don't know about that, but okay. I'd never ridden one before. Huh? This is crazy. And how do you even know Natsume? Not telling you.
What?
God, now I'm even more confused. And so we ended up at a pachinko parlor?
You may not have noticed, but I'm underage here.
Shut the hell up and get in already.
No, I can't just...
Look, no one's gonna find out, and if they start asking questions, I'll scare them off. Huh? I am also confused. As the man opened the door, I found myself overwhelmed by a barrage of ear-splitting sounds. The man next to me went in like he owned the place and sat in front of one of the machines. Play.
Huh? Me? Why?
Natsume would play for me every day.
He would? Did you also threaten him?
He wasn't the type who'd do it by himself, but he didn't hate it either.
So why don't you just play yourself?
Ever heard of beginner's luck? Well, there you go. Now that you know what this is all about, go ahead and pull that switch for me. I had no choice here. I'd just do some pachinko and this weird mod's coat guy would let me go. What? It's moving so much. What's this about? Whoa, don't stop, man. Keep on pulling.
Huh? Ah!
Yeah, just like that. Come on. Hell yeah.
Huh? Huh? What?
Check this out. We won big time. You rock, man.
Huh? Yay!
The man and I exchanged a couple of high fives and kept jumping around in joy. I had barely any time to process what had just happened. So what's your name, kid?
Tojo. I'm Tojo.
Tojo, gotcha. I'll make sure to remember it. Oh no. I planned for this to be a one-time thing. I'll be counting on you, Tojo. After the incident at the pachinko parlor, the man offered to give me a ride home. Now that I think about it, I don't believe I've ever asked your name. It's Morichika. Anyway, I'll see you around.
Oh, but I thought you lived here.
Huh?
We met in the elevator this morning, remember?
The woman I'm seeing lives here, that's all. Anyway, I'll see you around, Tojo. Honestly, I am going to end this video here, so if you want to find out what happens next, or make other choices, then I suggest you go and look this game up. But yeah, This is the end of the video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!